And tonight we're going to work on neck and shoulders and upper back. And we're going to work in terms of flexibility, and we are going to do a little bit of strength work, integrating some yoga with some weights. The weights, if you could have them, are 3 to 5 pounds. You could use a yoga block as your weight. You could use a soup can. You could use a book. My teachers in India use books very often as weights. So if you want, if you have pain in your arms and upper back, probably not an idea to add weight. Just work on flexibility, okay? So just finding your spot and lying down. Feet nice and wide. Angle your knees in, hands on your belly. Inhaling to your hands. Exhale, draw the belly in, make a ha sound. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to work with sound quite a bit because working neck and shoulders, we're working with the throat as well. So we're going to add Brahmari, the bee breath. Inhale. Exhale. Keep this going your own timing. Inhale, expand the exhale. Inhale, expand the belly. Exhale, draw the belly in. Inhale. Inhale. And if it's comfortable, bringing your hands to your heart. You might want to have a couple of cushions underneath, or just keep your hands on your belly, or one hand on the heart, the other on the belly. Inhale. Inhale. And when you're ready, hands on the belly. So as we move into the neck and shoulders, we're actually moving into the heart chakra, the anahata, and the throat chakra, and the third eye, and even the top of the head, the crown. So we're moving into the upper realm here, having established the lower grounding. So we're just going to start by, you're going to bring your knees apart as you bring your arms to the side at hip height. And you could have a block or pillow under each side. And as you exhale, you're going to draw your knees together and bring your hands to your belly. Inhale, opening. Exhale, closing. As you close, try to close using the exhale. So if you start to exhale before you start to move, you should feel like your belly, your breath, your core is drawing your legs together rather than moving your legs independently. Now bring the arms a little higher. And only bringing the arms to a height that's comfortable for you. So if at any time you start to get tingling in the hands or the arms, a lot of you have got old injuries, just back off, bring the arms lower. The arms are weights. And as you bring them higher, maybe shoulder height or a little higher still, it's a bigger opening. Maybe bring the hands to the heart as you exhale. And as you bring your arms higher and higher, or maybe you stop at some point, just notice where you feel this in your upper back, in your shoulders, in your arms, in your hands. Maybe you go even higher to a Y position, just warming everything up. And just rest, maybe with your feet wide, knees angled in. So just based on who's in class tonight, and this class is made for my students who are here, even though these videos are being given publicly. These are designed for all of you. We're just working very slowly. The next piece we're going to add is moving the arms to the side. So just make sure you have room. I'm going to just assess that I've got room here. I need to just scoot this way a little bit. I think you can still see me, okay? Yeah. So just make sure you've got room to move your arms this way, and like me, you might need to bend your knees to fit in your space. And having the knees bent can be nice for the lower back. If you want to have your legs straight, that's also fine if that works for you. So as you inhale, I want you to stretch your fingers apart, fan the fingers apart. And as you exhale, I want you to make fists with the hands. I'm working angel arm, the arms on the floor. Inhale, coming up to your place. You might not come all the way up, to see where you can get to. I'm bringing my palms together. And yes, I'm noticing those sticky spots from things that have happened in the past. And as I move those areas, you usually start to feel a little better. Inhale, spreading the fingers apart. Tucking the chin in at the top of the inhale. And exhale, bringing the arms down. Inhale, coming up. This time I'm going to cue the fist as you exhale. And this time we're going to pull down through the center, drawing the elbows down. Or you can just angel arm the arms down. Inhale. Inhale, coming up. Exhale. So on this exhale movement, I'm bending the elbows. My palms are facing each other, and I'm making fists. And then at the end, release the hands down. Let's try that one more time. And just rest for a minute. And notice how you feel. All right, so in yoga therapy, we often move our arms to the sides to work more with the upper back, neck, and shoulders. So we've just done a lot of that movement. We're now going to work with the arms coming in front and overhead. This might feel like it's working more the multifidus, the deeper back muscles. Might move your shoulder in a slightly different way. We're going to combine that with some movement like that, okay? So we're going to do a lying down again. I didn't say this, but you can have, I've got my hoodie on tonight because I often like to use that with for my head because it just feels nice, but you can have a blanket or a cushion like this under the head. Some people feel much better with the head just being a little bit higher during all of these exercises, or a blanket that's rolled. The legs can be bent or straight. All right, so I'm actually going to do mine with the legs straight, and I'm going to point and flex my feet so that we bring the legs into it. And you can, if you like, you can take your belt and put it on your feet. My feet are hip width apart, and I'm pressing out into the little toe side of my belt. So that really works the knees. I do this for my knees almost every day to really work the little muscles around my knees, and I rarely have pain in my knees as a result. I think seems to help. Really helps align the feet. I do it also to help align my pelvis because I have trouble with that as well. So back to that simple work, or you can forget about the legs and have the legs bent. Inhale, bringing the arms up to your place. And exhale, bring the arms down. Tadaka Mudra, we've done this before, so this should be familiar. I want you to notice how the shoulders feel as you do this. You might have one shoulder that just feels a little bit different than the other. Maybe you can tuck the chin down at the top of the inhale and exhale from the pelvic floor all the way up. As you bring your arms down. Now, we talked about this during the check-in. So for a lot of people, bringing the arms like that does not work. So you can put a pillow behind you, and you can use that as a landing pad. Sorry, I didn't mention this during our class. We talked about it during our check-in. So as you inhale, you can bring your arms here and exhale down, or a smaller cushion, just something that acts as a landing pad. I've used also soft blocks, one on each hand. So that's another option that you can use if you have less range of motion in your shoulders and upper back. And you can keep that going, or if it's comfortable, you can stay, interlock your fingers and have your palms facing to the wall behind you, Tadaka Mudra. And as you exhale, draw your belly in, flex your toes towards your nose. Bring your back to the floor. And as you inhale, see if you can stretch up a little bit. Create some space underneath the armpits. Tuck the chin in. Feel the top of the head, the back of the head pressing into the floor. Exhale, release. Inhale. Stretching as long as you can, bringing the hands above you and stretch them. And exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in. I'm bringing my toes towards my nose. My lower back is on the floor. And inhale, stretching up a little bit more. If this is not working for you, you can just get rid of the arms altogether or move them. Inhale up, exhale down to your place. If it doesn't work moving them in front, move your arms to the sides like we did earlier, which for most people is easier. And when you're ready, release. And notice how you feel. You're going to release that belt in the feet. Okay, so we're going to work with the neck a little bit more now. I'm going to show this seated so you can see more easily, but you can do this lying down. So I can do this standing in my classes so you can see me. So you're going to inhale. I will show you on the floor later so you also see it there. Inhale, you're going to bring your arms up to the floor behind you or to your place, or it might be to a bolster. And you're going to exhale, you're going to bring your left arm down and turn your head to the left. Inhale, center. And exhale to the right. Now, as you're doing this, there'll be a tendency to go down with the nose like that. So try to bring the top of the head more towards that arm. You might notice one side is a lot tighter than the other. Inhale, center. Exhale, other side. And eventually we're going to stay. So those of you who have taken classes with me, you'll know that I do this one a lot. And I created this for my own neck. I've had quite a bit of success with it for myself and others. Inhale, I'm going to have my legs bent for this one. You can have them straight if you like. Inhale, arms up to your place overhead. So again, you might have that bolster or pillow behind you. Exhale, bringing one arm down and turn your head the same direction as that hand coming down. Now the top of the head, I move towards my top arm as I turn. I'm going to stay here one breath now. Inhale, stay. Lengthening that top arm. Exhale, stay. And turning the head a little bit more if it's comfortable. Inhale, very gently untwisting the head. Then bringing your arm up, tucking the chin in. Exhale, other side, bringing the arm down at the top, at the bottom of the exhale, turning the head the other way. Stay here, inhale. Exhale, maybe turning the head a little bit more, top of the head towards the top arm. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, untwisting the head, bringing the arm center. Just keep this going. You can stay one or two or more breaths per side. You can point and flex your feet if your legs are straight. I like to have my palm facing up, that lower arm. And it might feel good to bend the top arm a little bit or a lot, according to your shoulder issues. So a lot of you mentioned stickiness in a left shoulder or in a right shoulder. So just feel free to bend that top arm until it feels really good in your neck and shoulders. And then untwist the head. Inhale, both arms up, straight, center. Exhale, other side. Just switching sides when you want. And just doing one more round A few breaths on each side if it's comfortable. And just trying to make your neck align by bringing the top of the head towards that top arm. So you have to bring the top of the head back before you fully rotate. Keep the top of the head aligned with the neck, the throat, the pelvis. If you haven't switched sides, I'm twisting the head, bringing the arm up and going to the other side. Well, when you're ready, coming back to the center. Exhale, release the arms down and rest. And notice where you feel this. Okay, so before we do strength work, we're going to continue to work on flexibility so we can have everything really open before we move to our stronger work. So we're going to work with bridge pose. This is another wonderful pose that you can work with the legs, the hips, the lower back, and the upper back. So tonight we're going to focus on the upper back. If you would like to lock your hips in by putting a block between the legs or a pillow, feel free to do that. Or you can put a belt on the hips. I don't show this very much, and I think that's what my body would like tonight. So I'm going to show that just so that we remember this variation. This is more when there's tightness in the hips. When there's lack of strength, you might want to put a pillow between the legs or a block, or nothing. It's also fine. So we're going to do this pose, and we're going to focus on bringing the arms overhead and opening the chest first. So you're going to inhale, come up, breathing into the belly, then breathing into the chest, lifting way, way up as high as you can. Now as you exhale, I want you to leave your arms there and feel like someone's pulling your hands, and you're going to gradually roll your spine down from the upper back down, the middle back down to the lower back. At the end of the exhale, you're going to bring your arms down by your sides. So you'll feel some nice traction through the whole spine from the upper back to the lower back as you do that. Inhale, coming up. Lifting as high as you can. And exhale, rolling down from the upper back, middle back, lower back, and feel like someone's pulling your hands the other direction. At the end of the exhale, release. And keep this going your own timing. Really feel your back as you roll down from your upper back to your lower back. As you inhale, focus on lifting your hips and then your chest, tucking your chin in at the top if that's comfortable. And exhale, that traction down the spine. And someone's holding your hands and you're rolling your spine down, one vertebrae at a time, stretching through those lats, through the shoulders, upper back. Just do it one more time. And if you can't lift as high, you can also come up onto your toes as an option. So this pose is like warrior in the standing. You can do tons of upper back, as well as lower back stuff, as well as lay stuff in this pose. It's a great full body pose, working with the upper back, neck, and shoulders. So next one, we're going to do that position we did earlier in Tadaka Mudra with the legs straight, moving the arms from hip height to a little bit higher, to shoulder height, to higher still. As we move them like this. Alternatively, if you have some pain or tenderness in the shoulder, keep the elbows in one place as you move just the lower arm in 3 positions, from hip to directly out of the elbows to towards the shoulders. So those 3 positions. So that's another alternative you can play with. You can also have some cushioning around you, some pillows, 2 pillows that you use as landing pads for your arms. Okay, so when you're ready, I'm going to do the bigger movement, but feel free to lock the elbow in. Inhale. And I want you to notice where you feel this in the upper back, neck, and shoulders. So this pose can also be done in standing warrior. You can do the arms like this, for those of you who like that pose. I bring the arms even higher. Just play with that, see if that works for you. I'm going to do it this time by leaving the elbow stable and just moving from the elbow down to the hands, low, medium, and high. This one can feel really nice in the shoulders, especially when there's pain. A number of you had pain in the shoulder tonight, so just keeping the upper arm locked in and just moving from the elbow down in 3 positions. Hip height coming right out of the elbow and then up towards the shoulder, maybe, if you have that range of motion. And just doing that a few times, a few rounds, low, medium, high. And maybe adding on a breath in between, staying. And that stay, you'll remember the lower back work we've been doing. That's really working the lower back muscles, also opening the chest. And last position, if you're with me, lifting up, staying a breath. You might want to tuck your elbows underneath, open the chest a little bit more. And you might want to stay here a few more breaths. Stretching the front body and strengthening the back body. And notice for those of you who have some shoulder stuff, if you're feeling this more in one shoulder, just releasing down. I'm sliding my hands down, sliding my back down. And we're going to do a counter pose after all those gentle back arches. So if you have your belt, you're going to take your belt, take it off your thighs, or grab your belt if you didn't have it before, and just make it longer. We're just going to stretch the legs because they've been bent a lot tonight. So counter pose. And when I'm using the belt for my neck and shoulders, I always make sure that my shoulders are tucked under and down so that the shoulders going up are not restricting the movement of the neck. There's lots of space in the upper back. And as I inhale, I'm going to point the feet. And exhale, flex the toes. So one of you had an issue in the heel. Maybe this movement of the feet will help. Inhale, pointing the toes. And exhale, flexing the toes towards the nose, stretching through the legs, the feet. And stretching the lower back. Inhale away, exhale towards you. Try to keep the shoulders down. So often people use the belt when the shoulders are off the ground like this, and that creates quite a bit of tension for the neck. If you have one shoulder that tends to be higher than the other, try to loop it down and bend the elbows and create some space for the neck. So this one is for the legs, the feet, the lower back. And sometimes people do get cramps in the feet doing this kind of thing, so don't be alarmed if that happens. Sometimes using muscles we haven't used before, that can happen. This one's also great for my students in the room who are working with knee issues, knee replacements, preparing for knee replacements. It's getting everything moving. And we're just going to release that. Okay, so, all right. So we're going to do a little bit more work in bridge pose. I'm actually really enjoying having this belt on my thighs tonight because I think my thighs are quite tight today, but feel free to put the block between the legs instead if tightness is not your issue. So we're going to play with inhale, lifting up, and you're going to bring your arms up to the ceiling as you do the bridge pose. Lifting nice and high. And exhale, you're going to come down and bring your hands to your heart. Now, we're going to see if it feels comfortable as you inhale to bring your palms to the ceiling, interlocked hands. And exhale, palms to the heart. So I want you to play with that. Just see which one feels better for you, for your shoulders, and play with the position of where the hands are. So I'm just going to demo different variations of this. So hands coming straight up and bringing the shoulder off the ground slightly as you do the up movement. And then exhale, drawing down, bringing the hands to the heart or maybe to the shoulders. Just see how this feels in the shoulders. You could also have the palms together as you come up. So there's a whole bunch of different ways we do this. As you come down, you can have the palms with the fingers pointing up, and my wrists are at my heart. So that's another way we do this. Now, there's another way to do this, which is kind of fun. See if you like this. Leave your hands at your heart and inhale, come up. Leave them at your heart. And open up. And as you exhale, bring your arms up as you come down. And inhale. Come up. Now I like to bring my hands around my shoulders when I do this. Just depends on your anatomy where it's going to feel good. So that's your inhale. So this is really following the movement with the breath. So this position is actually a back arch. So we inhale. And then exhale, this is a rounding. So we bring the hands up and we round. And then you stretch the shoulders up towards the sky. So this is a little bit more common way to teach this, following the breath. And of course, we'll modify things depending on the person. So just play with those positions and just see which one you like the best and continue with that. Working with the upper back, middle back, shoulders. I'm hoping this helps a student in the room who had the spasm in the mid back. Hoping that starts getting into that area. Inhale up with the hips. And exhale down with the hips, but the arms coming up. And then if it's comfortable, stay at the top with the elbows tucking in. You can have the palms facing up, press the elbows down, lift nice and high, and then relax the hands on the hips. And breathe here. Maybe tuck the shoulders under a little bit more and stay, otherwise keep them moving. It's a big chest opener, opening the chest, neck, shoulders. Strengthening the buttocks and the back, the legs. And when you're ready, release down. And rest. Just notice where you feel the circulation or the energy in your back. Maybe into your pelvis and legs. And just doing a counter pose again, stretching the legs long, that long belt. You might just choose to stay here, or a little bit of movement. Inhale, pointing the toes away. Exhale, toes towards the nose. And rest, release. Just gonna make sure you're all okay. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little bit of strength work. Done a lot of flexibility work, so I promised you that I would play with a little bit of weight into class. So My teachers in India use books for weights to intensify posture if you want to work with some strength work for the arms. You can use cans, you can use bottles filled with beans, that works really well, or rice, or sand. You can use yoga blocks, those are also weights. So you can use anything or nothing. If you have pain in your upper body, I don't recommend using weights. Unless your physio has told you that strengthening will actually help you realign, which will get you out of pain, which can be the case, but that needs to be assessed. That's a bit more complicated and in a group setting. I don't want to give that advice without looking at you more carefully or having one of my colleagues look at you. So I'm just going to start, I'm using a 5-pound weight. Feel free to use a 3, or even if you have those balls, which I keep wanting to buy, those, I think they're 1.5-pound balls. Those are really lovely as well to integrate into a yoga practice. Some people use wrist weights as well, but I think it's good if you can hold on to something in your hands. And we're going to work on Tadaka Mudra. So this pose with the legs straight, and I do this several times a week, and do it for strengthening my upper body, which tends to, since childhood, just be a lot weaker than my lower body. That's just a sort of genetic tendency. And at the age of 50, feeling like it's time to work on that. So if you feel that way, you can join me in this. Inhale, I'm bringing my weight overhead, and I'm bringing it all the way, but you might bring it to a cushion or a pillow behind you. I'm staying here a breath, so you can do this without the weight as well. Inhale here. Exhale, starting to exhale first, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, chest falls. We're going to do this again. Inhale, bringing the arms up with or without the weight. I'm tucking my chin in. I might have a cushion or blanket under my head. Exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, chest falls. Inhale, stay. Upper back, middle back, lower back, expanding into the floor. So I'm breathing into the back body, not just flaring the chest up to the sky. And I'm stretching my hands away from me as I do this. Exhale, coming down, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, chest falls. I'm going to do this one more time. In my own practice, I think I do this around 12 times, but feel free to modify for yourself. Moving very mindfully, very slowly. Exhale, stay. Inhale, stay. Exhale, coming out of it very slowly. Start to exhale before you start to move. Pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, chest falls. And just put the weight aside and see how you feel. So to my surprise, what I've found is integrating these weights into my practice. I've actually found it's quite an empowering feeling using the weights as resistance. And more on that, but I'll just say that for now. Now I'm going to move to a 10-pound weight. You can keep with a lower weight as we go into the tricep. I was so weak when I started this, I used one yoga block. It was all I could do. I was so weak. It was kind of sad. I tend to disembody from my upper body very easily for various psychological reasons as well. So you can hold a yoga block or a pillow and do this, honestly. It's actually a fair amount of work. And I worked up to 3-pound weight, 5-pound weight, now I'm using a 10-pound weight. So pick your medicine. So you're going to inhale, your arms are straight overhead. As you exhale, you're going to bring your hands down, your elbows stay up, and you're going to touch the crown of your head. And as you inhale, you're going to extend your arms straight up. And just do that. Exhale, bend at the elbow, bring your hands down towards the crown of your head. And inhale up. And there might be some shaking. And that can be a really good thing for helping the nervous system discharge. You've been experiencing some stress in your life. So I think that's part of what lifting weights, using weight in your practice can help you push through some tension in the body-mind in a slightly different way. Inhale, extending, and exhale, bending. Inhale, upper back, middle back, lower back. Exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, chest falls. And just one more time. And exhale, release. Put that weight aside. And now I'm going to grab 2 smaller weights. So I'm using 5-pound. You can use 1, 3, 5, a couple of soft yoga blocks. At one point, I just tied those together before I had weights, and that gives you, I'm trying to remember, I think around 3 pounds. So for this one, this is about strengthening the pec muscles, which we worked on earlier, so you don't have to do this with weights. You can do it without. So I'm gonna bend my knees for this one actually, and integrate a little bit of movement into this. We did this in the beginning of the class, the very first movement. Now we're doing it with weights. So inhale, you're gonna bring your arms to the sides. I'm bringing them to above shoulder height, but you might bring them to shoulder height as you open the knees in butterfly. Feet are together. Start to exhale, then start to move and bring the hands to the heart. Again, you do not have to use the weights. I'm resisting the opening and then resisting the close. So if you have those 1.5-pound balls, that's a great way to start, or just a yoga block in each hand works perfectly. Or a book. It's hard to get books that are the same weight. Buy 2 books that are exactly the same, I guess. And last time. And we're just going to put those weights aside. So make sure you do this in a way that's safe for your body. And just rest for a minute and notice how you feel. Probably feel quite a bit of circulation in the upper body. And it looks like it's time for Shavasana. So we're going to do our Shavasana also as a counter to what we just did. So I'm going to give you an option. So we've worked a lot with the upper back. I would suggest just resting the upper back on the floor and putting a bolster or pillow underneath your thighs. If you want to do a chest opener, you can lie on your bolster lengthwise. That's an option. And there's lots more options. So next week, if you do have some yoga blocks, I'm going to show some variations with that for chest openers, because it's a very nice thing to do. And I'll show you how to do it with just stuff at home as well. With a rolled yoga mat, you can do quite a bit just with your rolled yoga mat. So just resting here. And the heart chakra, focusing on that for our last 10 minutes tonight. The place of the heart, anahata. Very open place. As you breathe, notice how the chest expands as you inhale and relaxes as you exhale.
Starting to increase the length of the breath. Starting to move the hands and feet. Rolling to one side. Maybe bringing one arm underneath your ear. And coming to a comfortable seated position. And we're going to do something that I don't teach enough. This is called lion's breath, or lion's pose sometimes it's called. I want you to pretend you're a lion if you like. You're going to create some claws. And this is to release tension in the face, in the neck, in the jaw, and actually to release emotions out of the heart, held in the neck and the shoulders and the face. So you can do this if you like, and you can mute your camera if you're shy. I don't mind. Otherwise, here we go. You're going to stick your tongue out, and you're going to make a ha sound like a lion. And then I want you to inhale and open the chest, a little improv. And exhale, we're going to go back to those claws and make that ha. And inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And take your palms and you're going to rub them together. This is for your eyes. You can take your palms, either just covering your eyes, or some people like to touch the eyeball. And if it's comfortable, leaning forward. Otherwise, just stay seated. Just rest. If you're in a chair, you can do this with your elbows on your lap. You could have a cushion on your lap and use the cushion as a little table. You can do this also at a table. And just rest those eyes that have been looking at many screens today, perhaps if you're working remotely. And just rest those eyes. Most of us, our screen time is pretty up these days. Just resting the eyes. This is wonderful as a counterpose to all our computer work. And just to end tonight, a nice loud Om. Om. Shanti 3 times. Inhale. Shanti, shanti, shanti.